Alright guys, I'm back with another video about Brian Johnson. I guess that this is my fifth video about him. This will be his anti-aging workout routine.
For the past few years, I've been endeavoring to build the world's best anti-aging protocol, and to do so, becoming the most measured person in history. What I'm going to show you today is my daily exercise protocol. The science is pretty straightforward and pretty basic. I'm trying to achieve being in zone 2 through 4 for my heart rate, roughly 4.5 hours per week.
Alright, he's on purpose raising his heart rate, which can only decrease your lifespan. Every time your heart rate is raised, you decrease your lifespan.
I do not understand what he means by that. So if you exercise, raise your heart rate, you're going to make adaptations where your heart will beat more efficiently. Oxygen uptake by your lungs will also become more efficient. So your resting heart rate will be lower. So most athletes will have a resting heart rate of like around 60, sometimes less for endurance athletes, where you'll often see them around like 55, maybe even as low as 50. Whereas the general population, it's usually like 70 or more. So if you have like a few training sessions per week where, okay, you might get your heart rate to, I don't know, like 150 or something, but for all the rest of the time when you're resting, your heart rate's around 60, whereas people who don't train, their resting heart rate might be between 70 or 80. If you just add up the net amount of beats that your heart has to beat for an athlete versus non-athlete, the non-athletes are going to have to, have more heartbeats. So he's literally making an argument for exercise here without even realizing it.
You will live a shorter life. And that's part of his anti-aging routine. Get that inside of your head, okay?
For zone 5, which is 159 beats per...
Oh yeah, dude, I could annihilate Jason Blaha in a fist fight. He'd have no chance. He has no cardio, he's out of shape. He has no power production. If you ever watch him bench, no matter what the weight is, it always moves really slowly. So he has like no power. He might be able to he has a decently strong bench. Like when he takes a ton of steroids, I think his best bench so far was like 360 or 370 or some shit. That's a decent bench, but he can't move his arms quickly. He doesn't have any actual power production. So the guy punches I don't even need to see him actually box. He hits like a girl. So yeah, he literally wouldn't be able to hurt me. I could just sit with my hands tied behind my back, let him wail at me, and I just wouldn't feel anything. He'd be I might as well fight a fucking 7-year-old.
Per minute and above, I'm between 90 and 150 minutes per week. Outside of that, weight training is useful. Having a high VO2 max, which is your body's ability to use oxygen, is...
VO2 max is how you measure how adapted your body is to stress. The more adapted you are, the shorter your life is going to be.
What? I don't understand it. If your body is better capable of handling stress, how the fuck would that reduce your life expectancy? You would imagine it would do the opposite. What?
Also great, but generally it's pretty straightforward and it's pretty basic. Many of you are much better at this than I am. You know more, you do more, you have more specialized knowledge. That's amazing. My objective is really focused. I'm not training to become a triathlete. I'm not training for a marathon. I'm not training to become a bodybuilder. I'm not training to be dropped into the forest and and fight a wild animal. I'm training to slow my speed of aging and maintain optimal health. It's a very narrow goal. By the way, you may notice my face is a bit red. That's because I did a microneedling protocol.
He wants to slow down his aging by working out. No proof, no points, no arguments. We are just supposed to religiously believe that even though...
Yeah, so it's absolutely proven that exercise reduces... I don't know if you could... The right term would be it like reverses aging or slows down aging, but age-related conditions like sarcopenia, exercise slows that down or prevents it to a degree. So you lose muscle as you age. Exercise prevents that. You can literally reverse that. Even elderly people who are like 60, 70, 80, if they start weight training, they can gain muscle. So that is something that exercise reverses. That's a symptom of aging that exercise reverses. It also prevents age-related cognitive decline. So your brain shrinks as you age, your nervous system becomes less efficient. Again, exercise prevents that. Or slows it down, I should say. Like, what? Just, I mean, it's just so baffling every time I hear him say stupid shit like this.
Though working out has been proven to create free radicals, stress, literally.
Yeah, so there's an inflammatory response after exercise, but your body hypercompensates by producing a ton of antioxidants. So yeah, you do get an inflammatory response to exercise, but your body hypercompensates by making an antioxidant response. So the net effect is you're going to be in a like non-inflammatory state for a longer period of time.
Causes aging. This has been proven in every study ever done on stress.
Yeah, so again, there's different types of stress, and exercise stress clearly, prevents aging. Like, I don't know if that's the right term you should be using, but it slows down symptoms of aging, and it helps you live longer. So that's just wrong.
Stress.
On Friday, and I'm still healing. Now what I'm going to show you is what I do on a daily basis. I'm going to walk through each one of my exercises. So if you want to implement this, you can see me doing it. I'll explain what I'm doing, and you can then incorporate it into your protocol. It's roughly 45 to 60 minutes, depending upon the day, and around 20 plus exercises. All right, so let's get started. The first thing I do is the sled.
His physique looks very strange. It's as if his head doesn't really fit on that body, and that's because he looks very skinny.
Shut up.
His body fat is very low, but he's on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, which is why his body looks so unnatural, abnormal.
Yeah, Spherage is saying this. So, yeah, your body looks abnormal. Is that why you fucking got a toupee, Spherage? Because your head looked abnormal with your hairline all the way fucking back here, dude?
Okay, so this is the sled. I've got 95 pounds on the sled. I do this for between 3 and 5 minutes, depending.
Literally aging and stressing his body for no reason, pulling man-made metal, which is literally what slave...
I really wonder what Spherage even considers aging, because again, exercise reverses a symptom of aging, which is muscle loss. So if it's literally doing the exact opposite of what age does to you, it's like technically de-aging you by adding muscle.
React to
this aging you. Let me take a look, Matthew. For that donation, Matthew.
Slaves used to do.
Upon the day, I'll probably get 3 to 4 laps, 6 to 8 times up and down. Sometimes I'll take about...
Am I really doing an OnlyFans collab with Stefania? Well, I messaged her. We'll see.
30-second break in between a few of these and let the muscles rebuild. Yeah, it helps gently get the heart rate up. Nice warm up. All right, now let's head into the gym and get started with the next exercise.
Yeah, you create free radicals, your heart rate is raised, which means that your heart is beating faster, it's hard.
It's funny how he's saying, like, the shit about free radicals. What do you think fucking eating tons of red meat, avoiding, vegetables, and staying out in the sun for so long does? Like, what do you think that does to you?
Harder, which means that your
Like, again, it's funny. This is an admission that his lifestyle is bad for you.
body is going to give up faster, you're going to possibly get a heart attack, or you will stretch out your heart, which is what cardio does, which is what he also...
Stretch out your heart. What is he? I think he's talking about maladaptive cardiomyopathy. That's not terribly common. So,
Climate.
like, maladaptive cardiomyopathy is pretty uncommon. So why the fuck would he say cardio causes maladaptive cardiomyopathy when it's usually more related to either genetics or drugs? That's why that happens.
After me.
Matthew.
does. All of this is cardio, technically. All of it raises your heart rate, which is what cardio is. The origin of the word cardio is heart. It refers to the heart being damaged.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to
No, cardio does not mean damage to the heart.
do is these posture exercises, which I did an entire video about. The short of it is I was never taught good posture, and so I maintained posture that had me in a way that was restricting my blood flow in my veins. And so in correcting from...
That's the only good thing he does, or that's the only good thing about his teachings. You should have good posture, of course.
my posture, I learned that it takes a lot of muscle and a lot of attention and diligence to maintain proper posture. Okay, this is the second posture exercise I do daily. It's 30 degrees up. Now it's important to note, I've built up these muscles over a 1 year time period now, but when you're just getting started, you don't want to overdo it. And I think most experts will tell you that 2 to 3 times per week is max. So be really careful with these. You don't want to overstrain it. I've steadily worked up to this ability now where I feel fine every day, but you just want to be careful.
His skin looks so incredibly bad. It's just amazing how...
Does this
Spherage is saying somebody's skin looks terrible. So, does this guy look like he has terrific skin? And I mean, this is a particularly flattering, image of Spherage, too. You can find shit online where his skin looks fucking horrendous. There are actually people who've met Spherage like he's a fucking couch surfer. So people have met Spherage in person and have said his skin is fucking horrible. He has pimples and acne and shit. And his skin is red and it looks like he has rosacea and crap. So yeah, of all people to criticize somebody for having bad skin.
How bad he looks, how pale he also is, besides the lack of collagen, the dark eye circles, under eye bags. His body fat is just way
Yeah, speaking of dark eye circles, dude.
too low. Imagine how this guy would look like if he would be eating raw animal fat, liver, heart, spleen. Oh my god.
I work out every day. This is not to say it's the best way to do it. It's not to say it's the only way of doing it. And in fact, if I worked out less, maybe I'd be better off. We don't know. We've tried some variation, but not a lot. So with Blueprint, it's not to say that we've solved every problem. It's to say we have a system to measure and look at protocol. I just feel great when I work.
It's interesting that he said that it could be better if you worked out less. Of course, that's the actual reality. The less you work out, the less you will age. But at least he's sort of open to it, I suppose.
Out on a daily basis. When I don't, I really miss it. And now for this one, Typically, I would just grab this band in the middle.
You probably miss it because your body is so used to the hormones being released afterwards. It's like an addiction. Of course, you hate working out in itself. You can see it on his face expression. But biochemically, you can get addicted to it, sort of. You miss it in the sense that you miss the chemicals being released afterwards. Of course, you hate the work.
What is so strange, Sverige talks about, like, he even had that thing, high meat, where he eats rotten fucking meat that's been sitting in a jar for like months or even years. And he said eating that is clearly good for you because, like, why else would you feel great after eating it? If he's going to tie some of these, you know, subjective feelings of well-being with certain foods and say, well, clearly these foods are good for you because they make you feel better, then why would that not also apply to exercise? If exercise makes you feel better, doesn't that, like, suggest that maybe there's some sort of, like, I don't know, evolutionary adaptation where kind of programmed to want to exercise and be physically fit? Matthew, don't
Working out in itself.
And I pull it apart, but you can see it splitting here. And I guess I'm pretty frugal, so I just grab the ends here. I have all this goodness to bend. Next, this is a shoulder exercise. I actually don't remember the name of it.
I don't even remember me.
The leg up.
it's just external rotation.
With your elbow tucked right in.
I don't like doing that particular exercise for external rotation, but I do external rotation exercises.
Imagine how he would look like without the TRT. He would look like every malnourished vegan. He already looks horrible. I can see how he would look.
Like, he says this, but I'm bigger, stronger, more fit, and I would say I look younger than Sverige. So, yeah, malnourished.
Like, because I've watched so many vegans.
In your inside knee, and I do 10 on each arm. Maintain good posture. You can see here, I've got a testosterone patch on. So I do supplement testosterone, and I do so because I'm on a caloric restricted diet, which means I consume...
You're on a nutrient restricted diet also. Yeah, macronutrients, sure, calories, but also micronutrients. Plants don't have over 15 nutrients. A vegan diet causes malnutrition, which is basically what he's on. He also consumed the blood of his child, but besides that, he's pretty much vegan from what I understand. Maybe there's some supplements that he uses which aren't vegan.
20% fewer calories than would the recommended daily allowance. And when you're on caloric restriction, your testosterone goes down. So it's a side effect of caloric restriction. So I supplement testosterone to be in the normal levels. My most recent test was around 850 or so. So I'm in the normal range. We don't go above it. We just want to be normal.
It's actually fairly high, considering how little he eats. I wonder how much those testosterone patches really contribute. That's weird. I wouldn't have expected it to be that high.
It's an offset for my caloric restriction.
As proven in many studies, obviously on a vegan diet your testosterone is also lower, and that's because...
Nope. If you look at the largest study comparing vegans to omnivores and androgen levels, vegans have higher testosterone on average, including free testosterone. The difference between free testosterone between vegans and omnivores I don't think was statistically significant, but vegans did on average have higher testosterone, so that's just false.
Testosterone is 95% cholesterol, and as proven in studies, vegans have a cholesterol deficiency.
Yeah, so just because you have lower circulating, lower serum cholesterol, that doesn't mean you have lower testosterone. You do not need high amounts of serum cholesterol to have high testosterone. There's actually no link between serum cholesterol and testosterone. There are people who have serum cholesterol in the single digits that have high testosterone. There are people who have serum cholesterol in the 3, 4, 500s, and they have really, really low testosterone. So literally no link between serum cholesterol and testosterone.
This is this hamstring stretch. These I always have to warm up a little bit in the morning, where my hamstrings and my back get a little tight. And so I have to work this down a little bit. You can place it down and get a nice 30-second to 60-second stretch. Whatever you can, do it for comfort.
You did it all the way down, man. That's impressive.
A lot of men have very tight hamstrings. A lot of people who come over here and work out with me, and this is probably the most shocking one. Most men don't think about flexibility very much, and especially the hamstrings. So when they do this, they'll typically get up here and they'll go.
The stretching is also not a bad thing he does. The posture and the stretching I can understand.
They'll stop like right here. They just can't go any further. They
Yeah,
realize
Scourge has
how
an
tight
ancestral
that whole
wig.
thing is. I think the stretching is probably my favorite part of my daily routine. It just helps me feel so limber.
It's because it's the easiest part, man. Come on, Jesus.
I'll do 5 or 10 minutes on the bike, warm up, get my heart rate in like the 130s, 140s, and then I'll do the elliptical. I'll do some pulse training, some high intensity intervals, and then other days I'll warm up with the row machine and then jump to the elliptical for the high intensity intervals.
I don't like the elliptical machines.
Encouragingly, again, as I mentioned before, I'm really proud of my 58.7 VO2 max score. It's extraordinary for my age, and so I'm very
VO2 max training to adapt to stress.
This is a 10-minute ride for Peloton. They have these really nice landscape views where I'm riding the bike.
Blaha said the other day that vegans are always worried about testosterone levels, but meat eaters never have to worry about the stuff. He also said vegans need gear to get enough test. So is Blaha vegan? Is that why he takes a ton of fucking steroids? He's just a parody of himself.
Bike in Reykjavik in Iceland.
Yeah, and he has the nature posters also. Why not go outside and bike in nature? Why not fly to Iceland and bike? You have so much money. I don't get it.
It's really nice to be in a forest gym riding in Iceland. And I'll use a polar strap to do ECG to get an accurate heart rate. And I'll maintain around 130, 140 range. I'll try to maintain great posture with my back straight. It's easy to kind of get in like this. So really have to work to keep the posture right. So posture is like a constant battle.
Well, yeah, because it's unnatural to cycle on some... What is that even? Obviously, your posture cannot even be natural or healthy when you're doing something abnormal like this.
Every day, all day. Even though I try, I'll frequently see myself on camera and think, oh man, I thought I was trying, I thought I was maintaining proper posture and it still doesn't look good. So it's really hard to get right. All right, that's it. That's my daily exercise protocol. In addition to doing this 7 days a week, I also play basketball and tennis. Every Sunday, Towns and I race a local mountain trail, 3.4 miles. It's 1,200 feet incline. It's a pretty tough one. We finish in about 34 minutes. The trails.
Look at how red his hands are. And that's funny that he plays basketball, seeing as basketball is
Thanks for the donation, Sam.
statistically the deadliest sport in the United States, at least. It causes the most heart attacks in young men, as in guys in their 20s especially.
No. Exercise does not kill young people.
I don't know what to say, man. He literally provides zero proof for anything he does.
Pretty rough. You have to watch your step. It's like just borderline for me. Is too dangerous of creating a risk of getting injured. It's also exhilarating. So it's right there where some days I think we shouldn't do this, and other days I think, no, it's good training for
Man, he looks incredibly unhealthy. It's abnormal.
me.
Yes, says this person.
But I don't know, we may just continue. And this is all to say with Blueprint, I've learned this. Whatever I say right now is going to be antiquated tomorrow.
I'm seriously worried that this guy is going to die soon. That's how unhealthy he looks. As expected, he didn't provide any proof, points, arguments whatsoever as to how exercise, raising your heart rate, or stress in general is supposed to be anti-aging.
Just like looking at his teeth, they're all different lengths. It's so weird.
I meant
No, they look white. They're not. Yeah, okay. His teeth look white. They're not perfectly aligned, but he looks like he has white teeth. Chances are, because he's like rich, and he's also interested in living long, he has pretty decent teeth. Thanks for that donation.
Did you hear